President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has written to the Senate requesting confirmation of the newly appointed service chiefs. Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who read the letter at resumption of plenary session yesterday, Tuesday, the 11th of July, 2023, said the service chief will be screened by the entire Senate in its chambers at a yet-to-be-announced date. Akpabio explained that since relevant standing committees of the Senate are not in place yet, the service chief will be screened by the Committee of the Whole of the Senate. The service chief to be confirmed are Major General Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff, T.A. Lagbaja, Chief of Armed Staff, Rear Admiral E.A. Agala, Chief of Naval Staff, and H.B. Abubakar, Chief of Air Staff. It will be recalled that they were appointed, and that of the Inspector General of Police. It will be recalled that they were appointed on the 19th day of June, but also needing Senate confirmation according to the provisions of the law. In Mr. President's request letter, he stated that the Senate is invited to note the current security situation of our country, which requires concerted effort of both the legislative and the executive with one another to achieve the level of optimal performance expected of the military. While I hope that the request will receive the expedient action and consideration and confirmation of the Nigerian Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President and distinguished Senators, the assurance of my highest consideration. President Tinubu said it is expected that all will be well in dealing with the issue. It will be expected, as the Senate has finally dealt with the issue of principal officers and chairman of major committees, it is most likely to give Mr. President an expedited action, judging by the sensitive nature of the service chief and the present security situation in the country. But the big question and the big story for today is, having the executive and legislative arm of government work together on security, are we going to see a different security situation in the country? And what approach should the new service chief take in dealing with the dire security situation in the country? Well, this will make a focal point of our discussion today as we talk about insecurity and request for the confirmation of service chief by no other but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the Senate. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on The Big Story. We're talking about insecurity and not just looking at that request for confirmation of service chief, but also looking at the need for a different approach as it concerns insecurity in the country. But I know he's secure right here with us to talk about it. And I'm talking of no other person but Barrister Casey Omoyerabo. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
Okay, now let's quickly dive into it, knowing how really critical and serious the issue of security is to the country as we speak. And so we also do know that such request by Mr. President is in compliance with the provisions of Section 18, subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act, Cap A20 laws of the Federation of Nigeria in 2004, which will kickstart the executive and the legislative arm to work together as it concerns securing the nation. But I'd rather take a different approach to my question today. And the approach I'm going to ask is, now, let's look at it. Would you say our problem when it comes to insecurity have been a failure on the part of the executive and legislative arm not working together, or rather a lack of political will to deal with our challenging problem of insecurity? And because why I'm asking this question, if we take our mind to the last administration of President Muhammad Buhari, we always had great understanding between the legislative arm and that of the executive. So is our problem all centered on that, or it's more of a political will?
Thank you. When we talk about insecurity in any way in the world, any climate, it does not lie so much on the government of the people. It lies so much on the followership, the citizenry. Because every violence and every fundamental cause, what is the cause of insecurity? There are people who are angry. That's civil insurrection. There are people who are naturally miscreants or street urchins. There's nothing do for them that will make them not steal. They're even in families. Then There's the third force. The third force are those who feel, why should you be the one in charge? Why not me? These are results of insecurity. These are defects of security. How does it come? In between me and you. You have a classmate who's riding a jeep, and the other one is pushing a truck. And it's never happy. So when you float your weight around, people are bound to be angry. When you monetize politics, people are bound to be angry. The insecurity, we should not look up to the police, army, navy, and other. Yes, we have employed them to keep the gate. But when you get the front open by the person who employed you, it becomes difficult for them. Remember the Nigerian police force, Nigerian forces are Nigerians. They are your classmates, your people you see in church every day. They are people you see in every government you go to. They are your friends, they are your brothers, your brothers. Every family in this country has one soldier and one police officer. Then why are we always fighting them? The issue is that, have we given them a good ground to operate? Do we give them information? It is when it touches us that we raise alarm. When it touches that person is a stranger. So if it is true that we had cooperated, look, every country get the type of police deserve. Go look at South Africa. Look at even ordinary Nigerian share police. Are they policemen in the street? Those are trained ones. Very civil. Good morning, sir. Welcome, sir. And you can anything I can look at. That is share police for you. But on the road, parkway, come now. Can you imagine the same set of police, recruited in the same Nigeria, being organized by the same police force, and yet they are quite different people entirely?
In approach,
because of the society.
Now, anyway, but that will still bring me back to my initial question.
Yes.
Because as much as we talk about a common blame on the society,
yes,
have we, because irrespective of which government seems to be in place now, undermining still the All Progressive Congress, a continuation of them in rule, in leadership.
Yes.
We still see the problem associated with the last administration when it comes to the issue of insecurity. So that brings me back to my question. We're looking at that confirmation request by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday. He have requested. So my question still remains. Yes. Has it always been an issue of the executive and the legislative arm not working together on insecurity? Or is it a political will by the political class to end this?
It's two ways from. It's not a matter of yes or no. The fact is that we can see that the current administration is indirectly breaking away from the past without hurting anybody.
Okay.
Without saying Buhari was a failure, no, he is not a noise maker. He knows the failures of his predecessor. He knows the complaints of the Nigerians. He knows where this thing lies. He's an experienced administrator. This is the first time we're having a president who was not sponsored. A president who has been wanting to be president. He does not have a godfather. He's in charge. So he knows what to do, and he's doing it gradually. We might be having pains now. I am not campaigning for, of course not. I know. So the truth is that
you've never campaigned.
Yeah. So the fact that he is trying to look at feeling our pulse. What do we feel? The new the new executives that are going to be screened now is the law empowers the president to nominate or appoint temporarily and get to be screened by the legislature. And that screening before they are confirmed. And now they are in acting capacity. This period that they are in capacity, everybody is watching, seeing what they can do. To be frank, for the first time I see myself aligning myself with an Inspector General of Police. Okay. That was why I moved at police end. Yeah. So I am saying this current IGP as wanting to do something different.
We'll come to his approach and what he wants to do. Are you now indirectly indicting the former administration that they did not have the political will to have curbed the security challenges, and that's why it has festered?
Thank you. The past administration of General Muhammadu Buhari was an administration that was shrouded in mystery. You know that. We had problems. We didn't really know who was where. And a lot of things were being said which cannot be said here. So we even had a chief of staff that the time we had COVID-19, we thought he was gone here and therefore he was dead. We did not know what led to all that. Many things happened. At the time we learned that our first lady had ran away from the country. He came back. We do not really know what constituted as rock of that time. A lot of things
were not a total grip of power to handle the security challenges. Yes,
and you can say a president will be in power, something will be happening, will be sleeping, will turn his face. And if not, doesn't even know Nigeria. was a terrible thing. What, because the General Mohammed Buhari we trained the general who was formerly governor, was formerly Minister of Petroleum Affairs, was chairman NP's Board of Trustees, who was head of state, was that the same Buhari we voted for to be the president. I don't know whether it was 70 or 80, but many people had that problem.
So he had not the political will.
So there was no political will. He was not even, I don't know how to put it, he was just there.
Okay,
so,
well, anyway, we'll be here and here to really talk about it. Now,
yes.
let's still return to the confirmation and the screening of the service chief. Now, we do know the screening and confirmation of the service chief is most likely going to happen maybe in a week or two.
Yes.
Because that, we know now that, and it's going to be happening with the whole Senate being in attendance. Because we do know that the major committees that saddled with that responsibility seems not to have been constituted. Undermining, we now know, or rather have the Senate having their principal offices and major committees chair. But my question now is, what are the likely questions that you feel the Senate should ask this service chief in us knowing if they have the capacity to handle the security situation? Because why I'm asking this, we've seen previous come to the Senate, come to the red chambers, they ask simple, light questions. Who are you? Where are you from? Where have you? What ministry have you headed when it comes to the issue of defense? And you let them off the hook. So what questions do you feel that this Senate should likely ask this new service chiefs? Because what I also would, information reaching us, is that it might also be almost an open door for public to also watch in that very screening. So what are the likely questions you feel the Senate should ask?
First of all, the questions are the normal questions. If you remember during the screening of them, Kayamo, in the last dispensation, Kayamo thought he was going to be Attorney General of the state, of the Government Federation. He was saying he was going to change judges of the Court of Supreme Court, he was going to do this, and he didn't know they were going to send it to Labour. But now they are specified with their portfolio.
Okay.
Now, the issue is, have we looked at the laws? Whether they allow the Senate to make it a rowdy session, or they are supposed to be banned to the committee? Because if we do it now, one human activist will just go to court and say they are not our service chiefs. After all, they were not screened by committees. Because we always jump. Now, as of last night, the Senate President have announced the new committees.
Yes, and
then why don't we allow the committee to screen them first? If we make it the whole Senate sitting, and you know that the Senate now comprises of so many hot heads and from so many political parties, and nobody want to.
Would that not naturally give it a robust screening?
Yeah, it's not a robust screening, my brother. A robust screening is when you genuinely want to find out whether this person is a capable person.
Right,
but there are spoilers. Yes, there are spoilers who will just feel that let us oppose this man, and then if we like, bring Jesus here, we're not going to agree. There are people like that. So if we're going to have screening, why would the whole Senate start asking questions?
But that's what the Senate President
said. We will
did.
not finish with one in a day, in 2 days. If everybody will have to rise up in hand and ask, and you mean you are the one to be screened? If I am going to be made a minister, and the whole senators are going to ask me questions, how do you prepare? And there are some those days, like when Bolage was to be screened.
Yes.
It's a story to talk about. Well, we know you. They have the pedigree. So is it everybody you ask questions? For example, now the current makeup.
So you feel a committee screening would
have been better. And then if we are going to ask questions, please let us ask questions concerning their own department, their training, and the technical committees have headed, if there have been GOCs, and what did they do that time? Like I always say, when you appoint a new commissioner of police, say he had disbanded a roadblock. When you were DP, why did you disband roadblock in your area? Is it now the disband roadblock? When you were appointed new commissioner of police, he has stopped all the roadblock, only stop and said. It's all political statement. So now, the first question you're going to ask the chief of army staff, like I always say, if really know the position of the army to start fighting for eternal security, it's external aggression.
Of course.
It's because we do not have.
But is the personal internal security not more than what the Nigerian police?
It's not what sentiment says. What the law says. Not local sentiment. It's what the law says. The Nigerian police are empowered to detect crime, and prevent crime, arrest and even prosecute. But Nigerian police have been overwhelmed with EFCC, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police Force, Jet Force, that the Nigerian police is over marginalized and oppressed and depressed. That's what I'm saying. Can they not be well equipped and trained and allow them to do their job? That's the problem we have. The Japanese now, everybody's come to knock their head, and then you still blame them. The Japanese always be the receiving end. The Japanese are as trained as any Nigerian army. The Japanese, they go for...
they should be saddled with
they should be given the adequate training and equipment.
We'll come to what we feel the police need, especially a concern.
Yeah, but I know the question I'm going to call, I'm telling you.
Okay.
The question I'm going to ask the IGP now, when we are commissioner of police in Lagos State, how many old white people did you arrest? Because we have asked whether they had the capacity to arrest that time. You are going with a bow and arrow to go and arrest somebody with a machine gun? I don't get it. So you see, we always have a way to ask you a question and make you a failure. Like in the university those days, when the lecturer is marking your script, I was a lecturer. They are not looking for your good English. They are looking for where they will put red barrel, where you make mistakes, so that they can fail you.
Okay. And we'll not fail to ask this question.
Yes.
Are you now saying should questions bordered on what approach they should take to combat this?
I think
not be a major question.
The question the question how it should be is you are going to be saddled with the responsibility of being the chief of army staff. How are you going to organize the army and reposition the army that they can stand any external aggression? Now, sometimes we send you out for a ECOMOG or for any other thing. How are you going to be able to defend the territorial integrity of the Nigerian nation?
Now, talking about defending, that's what I mean to my next question. Because a number of these new service chiefs come from course 38 of the Nigerian Defense Academy.
Yes.
The only one that is of course 37 is no other person but the chief of defense staff.
Okay.
I'm talking about Major General Christopher Musa, who would be leading the pack, which will also lead me to my next question.
Okay.
And do you feel the service chief or our armed forces have the capacity to deal with these issues? Because what I'm asking, what have they failed over the time?
Let me tell you, our service chiefs,
so do they have that capacity?
Yes, our service chiefs and our armed forces are over capable, but they have no political will. They are always looking back. Let us take for the Niger Delta region, the task force that time, the Operation Pollution and all operations we have had there, JTF, that was supposed to curb the excesses of the people in the river line.
Yes.
That breaking past line.
Yeah.
It could have been done even in 1 week, but somebody will phone. Don't touch my children. We have done it in Igbo now. I come and do it in Niger Delta. Okay, you are going to kill Boko Haram. Everybody look in your street. If you die, people will riot. Are you not seeing the elders of the community fighting every day? When I mean community, the elders of Nigeria. Okay, we have Pandek, we have Middle Belt, we have Northern elders. Are you not seeing what they are saying? Somebody stood up in Kano one day and said that the whole of Nigeria and the oil belongs to the North because their father who founded it. And is that not provocative enough? That is why the armed forces are always handicapped. When the Nigerian police want to ask, they say, hey, you know the entire community go arrest.
So you feel they are caged in
They are caged. They are not allowed to operate. They are working in a marching land.
In dealing with the issues.
Yes, they are operating in a marching land. What you can smoke at these criminals over 1 week. Give them just that mandate and say, let the president go and do your work. Whether Boko Haram will not stop today, whether Hezbollah will not stop today. And yet you see that people are saying, please give them cattle land where they can farm. And there's a problem. So it is not the armed forces, it's not the service chiefs. They have the will, they have the capacity. But they are waiting for instruction from Ogadem. And Ogadem, there are so many Ogas who pass instruction. That's the problem we have. If I tell you right now in this very way, the DPO there and the area commander, if you give them free hand to run it, you will not have kindness for 1 year. But if you arrest one big man from house of them before and say, that boy is my boy. Well, won't help me my political, please let him go. If you will not let him go, I will transfer you. That's the problem we have. We do not know. That's the problem we have. We are always blaming police, blaming soldiers. Now, where police are supposed to be checkpoint, soldiers will be there, they will be there, Air Force will be there. Who is manning our barracks? Who is manning our borders? What the soldiers doing in the street? You are corrupting and collecting money. They put one small boy there who is not who is a civilian. He carry one stick, he stop any trailer, he collect money. Then so that's how he sign one small hut. There's a problem in our country. And we don't really blame them. We take a man from Maiduguri, left wife and children. He's sleeping there under the rain. Under that place is his bedroom, is his toilet, is his sitting room, is his bedroom. Under that small thing. He has been there for 1 month, no change. They bring food for them once or twice a day. And you think we're not collect money to survive? And we're going to pay school fees and salary will come after 3 months? Then we should ask ourselves the question. The problem is in us and not in our stars. I think we should sit down. Forget for this 4 million problem, the social Nigeria problem, for the 4 services. It's not that problem. If you allow just one or they want that respect police, so man, push mobile police to South Forest. Then we get results same day. But when you get there, don't kill you, don't shoot you, just shoot at the leg. So I don't know social enemy at your head. How can they do it? That's the problem we have.
Okay, anyway, we'll have no problem going on a break now, though, and I'll plead with you to hold on. We need to go on the break now. I know it's getting heated, but it will come more because we really want to understand what approach should this new service chief that are seeking a confirmation from the service need to take. But anyway, like I said, let's take this break and come back and have more discussion.